Hi Aries, welcome to your May 2020 love reading. It's Raina here. This is for either single or coupled Aries people. However, if you are involved with somebody, just understand these are for people who have problems in their relationship. So it's not meant for, it's not going to tell you that everything is hunky-dory. Whoa, talk about a lot of pentacles. Wow. And pentacles connect to earth signs. So we have pentacles and cups. Pentacles are earth signs, Taurus, Virgo and Capricorn. Capricorn is a big one for you because you're cardinal signs. And the water signs, Cancer, big one for you because you're cardinal signs. Scorpio or Pisces. So the heart of the matter is the Five of Cups. This is a card of mourning the loss of something. If you are single, you may be a widow or widower, and or divorced and you didn't want to be divorced. It wasn't your idea to get divorced. Something related to loss on the emotional level that makes it difficult for you to kind of open your heart again. Maybe it's not time. Maybe that's the one message that you need to hear, is that you need more time to heal. Aries people tend to look to the future and be, not wallow in the past, but sometimes you have to kind of heal, and you can't be impatient for healing to take place. You don't want to be premature. So when I look at the past position, a lot of times, though, I can get a feel for what the dynamic or the main situation could be. What is prompting that feeling of grief? We have the Five of Pentacles. This is a card of lack consciousness. So I would tend to see, or to think, more than just someone whose partner has passed away, that it could be more of breaking up with somebody that you didn't want to break up with, and feeling this sense of not being able to meet somebody new, of like, I'm too old, or I don't look how I used to look. And so kind of believing that you don't have many options. Aries people tend to be quite positive in general, but maybe this is more geared towards those. I've been saying more and more about, the exceptions to these rules, because if your moon sign is in Cancer, for instance, or Pisces, you may have a tendency to be more of a worrywart, or, and think that certain things may not happen for you. Or even a moon in Capricorn, where you're kind of pessimistic sometimes, and you're more cynical than the typical Aries person tends to be. Usually Aries could be like a puppy dog, where they just think everything is going to, be great and work out. But then you get these other influences. But really also, if your Mercury, Venus, and or Mars are in Pisces, because Pisces is an adjacent sign to you, so you could have that. And that may make you more vulnerable and more likely to believe that things are not going to necessarily go the way that you want them to go in. So the thing that has to change, whatever that Five of Pentacles means for you, is raising your vibration, I would say, so that you have a more hopeful attitude. Because, now that I think about it, let's say you're single and you lost your job recently, and you're just feeling kind of down in the dumps. It may be that, or you in the Five of Pentacles can be like unemployment, and you may feel like you have nothing to offer another person. So Aries people want to be successful. They want to be in control. And when they feel out of control, they feel like they're not able to, like, financially be how they used to be. That can kind of like be a blow to the ego. And you have to have confidence that is not coming from something in this world, because things of this world are subject to change, and that's the problem. Is that, you know, the five of Pentacles, number 5 is a number of, it's an unstable number because it's the number of change. I think it's connected to Mercury, so it's very mercurial. It's funny, yeah. The 5 of Cups, changeable emotional states, because, you know, grief is something that, you know, we can't control. When somebody else dies, when somebody else leaves us, we can't control other people. So that's why people take refuge in spiritual matters, because they're looking for equanimity. They're looking for this feeling that all is well, in spite of the tenuous nature of things in the material world, you know. So when I look at the higher message, this is kind of like the big picture. We have the 6 of Pentacles, and this is the card of give and take. Now, we're not talking about, you know, salary requests here, so I'm not going to talk about those kinds of things. But in terms of personal relationships, this can be a situation where maybe you were giving so much of yourself that you did not get any, you didn't get something in return, and that other person didn't really regard you as highly as you regarded them. I wouldn't be surprised if this is not something connected to maybe somebody taking advantage of you financially, because, you know, using you financially, because having that 5 of Pentacles, it's almost like when you lost your job, they were gone. And the 6 of Pentacles as a spiritual lesson is that maybe you didn't really pay attention to the dynamics of the relationship, that they were takers, and that they did not give back. I'm not somebody that suggests keeping tabs on who's doing what, who was buying this, who's buying that. But in terms of just the emotional investment in a relationship, that can definitely play into things. So there may have been something that you could have seen, like a red flag, and Aries people tend not to pay attention to the little details, but they're not so little, you know, when you get right down to it. Another thing too is, was this really somebody that you loved, or are you sad that the relationship is no more, but you were just, maybe it was kind of like a physical thing for you, and you weren't really that in love with the person, or even if you were, did you pay attention to whether they seemed to have love for you, or were you just looking at it from the perspective of how you were feeling? And these kinds of things have to be always taken into account when you're involved with somebody, that it can't be just like, oh, I'm gaga over this person, but not even like analyzing whether or not they seem to be as into it as you are. What crosses you is the 10 of Pentacles. Yeah, well, this could be like a Capricorn individual. But another thing too is this is affluence, but if we read it as the reverse card, because of the position I picked it for, it might even be like materialism, and not necessarily on your part. However, you might be so generous, free spending for on somebody else, that you open yourself up to that kind of vulnerability where you get taken advantage of. And it's really kind of a low energy, because when people are gold diggers and things like that, they really don't have a lot of respect for people. They're just so, even if they're acting phony and they're acting like they're into you, if you really tune into it, you can see that it's not genuine. What else was I going to say? I was going to say something else about that. And something about what you might have a tendency to do that's connected to that. But, I can't think of it. See, we have like these pentacles, What's coming in, or the advice, is the Seven of Pentacles. I think, this is the Farmer's card. This is about investing in something and seeing if it's going to produce something worthwhile. If there's an earth sign person in your life that perhaps you have, has shown an interest in you, but maybe you were chasing somebody else, perhaps you need to give this person a second look over or a try, because they may be someone that over time you can develop a relationship with. As advice, if you don't have anybody right now, what it could be saying is that you have to do this. You have to take things slowly, and you have to watch the progress that is being made. Aries loves to just cut to the chase, and this leads to a lot of hasty situations that can end up very, sad for you if you're not careful, because you want to rush things along, and love can't be hurried. I was going to go, you can't hurry love. And and it's interesting because the outcome card is the marriage card, and the pot at the end of the rainbow, the 10 of Cups. So if you want if this is your prize that you're looking for, Aries, then you have to be willing to take it slowly and allow it to develop, and not try to rush things. Because then you can have something where it's mutual and it's forever. And if you really want something more on that level, give it the attention that you would give to a flower that is blooming, or a plant that is growing slowly. And really tend to that plant and nourish it, and nourish that budding relationship. Okay, that's what I have for you. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you would like a personal reading, the link to my online ordering page is below. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.